So here we have it, map number 2, and things are going to get a heck of a lot exciting because game 1 was very close. We saw HeroMarine able to take it but he put up just a beautiful game. Such good timing, such good coordination, such good strategic thinking. Now, game number 2, merry-go-round, and to the top left, playing for Alien Invasion, we've got the yellow Zerg player, Golden. And his opponent, up to the top right, the red Terran player, representing Mouse Sports, none other than HeroMarine. So, good little bit of HeroMarine up against Golden. And well, this is a very interesting finals because HeroMarine put up in game number 1 such a beautiful display of Terran control. He effectively utilized some Reaper harass at the start into that kind of Reaper Banshee Hellion play, and again Golden was able to deal with that. He took a third base, but HeroMarine then went for the 2-base play. He went for a big push with a lot of Marines, just one tank for a little bit of zoning, a little bit of control, and Golden just didn't have enough to deal with it. Partially the problem there could have come from the fact that actually Golden took a 4th. He didn't see, or maybe didn't care, that HeroMarine wasn't taking a third base, but because that third wasn't coming down from HeroMarine, that meant that Golden wasn't prepared for the volume of units and just how aggressive that push was coming. He sacrificed some unit production in order to take that 4th. Now, if HeroMarine had been taking a third, Golden would have been in a beautiful spot. Maybe, though, he was just being a tad too greedy. This game will be very interesting. It is a best of 3, remember, and that means that if Golden loses this, he will finish second in tonight's cup, and that means a lot of problems for him, because overall the entire point of the ESL Pro Series is the weekly cup gathers points, and those points are incredibly important to get through to the final stages, the bracket stages, where there's actually a big chunk of money on the line. Not actually sure if the final amount of prize pool has been confirmed, but last season it was quite a few thousand, so definitely important stuff to try and get all of this coming through, and getting these wins important. It's a great tournament as well because it's only open to people residing within Germany, which means that the majority of the combatants are German nationals. There is, of course, Golden and Patience and stuff like that who have qualified previously. Korean players who live in Germany have to qualify in a different series to actually qualify for the next series of it, so that's roughly how it works. Meanwhile, quick little poke in here. HeroMarine, again opening with those Reapers. Command Center coming out the back of it, all of it getting scouted nicely by Golden. He sees the CC timing, knows everything. Can suspect that a factory is going to be coming down, so even though he sees it, doesn't actually need to know too much to be able to do that. In though comes now these Reapers, getting a nice little poke, getting a nice little prod. All in all, no kills as of yet. Hasn't actually taken first blood. No resources lost as the clock stands, 4 minutes 42 in. And with the Queen popping out, it's unlikely that this one lone Reaper is going to be able to do much about that. Bear in mind, and something that I probably should have pointed out a bit sooner, is there is only the one Reaper there for now. This is different to game number 1. Game 1, HeroMarine took the 2 Reapers. He went for that higher level of aggression, slightly delaying tech and or economy in order to do that. And as a result, can't do that much to really harass with just one Reaper, but obviously, by only getting that one, he gets quicker tech. These Hellions will be out a little bit quicker. There's some really sweet builds involving an armory. Nice and quick. Getting those Hellbats out a little sooner. A lot comes down to what happens with this barracks. If we see the starport, I suspect we won't. And as I say that, it gets thrown down. So it's not going to be probably that Hellbat style play with a couple of Marauders. Instead, we're just going to be getting out Cloak Banshee a bit quicker than we would have done otherwise. Now Golden is going to look to take his third base. There we go. Chucking that down. Around 6 minutes, knows he's safe, knows he's fended this off. More importantly, he's only seen that single Reaper, and that doesn't guarantee that there isn't a second one and it's coming through, but just because of the things that the Overlord saw earlier on, it's a bit of a giveaway for it. So the Overlord knows, like, the rough timings, the fact that obviously the reactor is coming down. There are some Terran players who will, regardless of the fact that they only show one Reaper, may have made the second one and hide it intentionally to try and force a reaction out of the Zerg to go a bit greedier, and then so when that second Reaper and those 4 Hellions come through, it gets it a lot more scary. So, a couple of links just dancing around at the moment. We've got the Hellions nuzzling on down towards that hatch just to confirm its existence. That's all HeroMarine wants to do at the moment, is go, yep, my opponent's taking a third. Rotoron yet again coming out. So Golden going to have a nice defense up against these Hellions. Needs to just be aware that, of course, the starport's on its way, but hasn't sacrificed an Overlord as of yet. And note, this is not going to be Banshee play. Viking comes out first, followed up by a Medevac. Stim is getting started a lot earlier this game than previously. So HeroMarine is going to have a much earlier Stim, going to be able to start pushing in a heck of a lot quicker, trying to get that damage down. So, Lynx just coming, checking any way that they can. This drop play is going to be probably quite irritating for the most part. And what's probably the bigger question is which way HeroMarine decides to go in. Is he going to be coming in, going down towards this third base? Is he going to try and head for the main? Of course, from the minimap, it looks like there's tons of dead space, but because of these air fences, as I like to call them, are around, it's actually not that much room. However, Golden doesn't have particularly exceptional Overlord spread. And by that, I mean his vision currently looks like this. He has this Overlord that shows this area, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't know anything about drops coming through. So, one Medevac on its way forward. Not quite flying through there, but it will be heading towards that main base. In terms of unit production, 1 Roach, 4 Lings. A couple more Roaches coming through, but this could still cause a problem. Overlord going to come down. This doesn't supply block Golden, which is another concern that could come out of losing quite a few Overlords. But in come the Marines. The Spore Crawler is going to move, but this is just ignored. The Medevac flying straight through it, so a retreat isn't really a predominant option. Hellions pushing at the front. There is, of course, the Spine Crawler and a couple of Queens there. 1 Queen going to get taken out. The drop in the main getting dealt with. A couple of Roaches coming back, but this is splitting Golden's forces quite thinly in order to try and defend all of this. And that is exactly what HeroMarine wants to do. Backing out with this Medevac. Medevac stays alive as the Spore Crawler started to move. 6 workers have been killed so far. The Hellions still going for a bit more. And overall, resources lost. It came out worse for Golden. But 5 Hellions, 4 Marines, and a Reaper have still died over on HeroMarine's side. So it wasn't exactly the greatest, or it was still a good trade, but for 6 workers, probably would have wanted a bit more, because it's still 62 drones here. A couple of Hellions going to try and suicide their way through, may rack up 2 more kills, pretty much it. But still, 60 workers down, that can be quickly resupplied, especially with the Queens injecting all 3 hatches consistently. This is just doing a very, very nice job, and a lot of this comes down to the fact that the Queen count was relatively high, and all in all, Golden is now quite happy. This is an interesting response from HeroMarine. He sees a lot of Roaches, and this is a really smart decision by him. He knows straight away that there's just too many Roaches there. Generally, it's pretty easy to identify that this sort of build's coming, and the quickest way to do it is, do you see a lair? Do you see a lot of Roaches? If you see more than sort of 4 or 5 Roaches, it's almost certainly going to be this aggression coming through, because there's no other reason early game up against Terran, unless they're going mech, to get this many Roaches out. They don't scale well into the mid game, unless of course you're Tefl and you go Roach Hydra every game, every matchup. Now, these Roaches are going to come crashing through, or at least trying to. There's 1 tank here, as well as a good number of Marines. They're going to be trying to kite their way back, trying to get down a little bit more damage here. But as it stands, the Marines now coming through, getting a couple of good shots off here. The Roaches being forced to back away, as there is a couple of Marauders there. This is some good damage coming down from HeroMarine. Ready to back away. The tank siege is up, and that tank siege is a brave move, but does manage to zone out the majority of the Roaches for now. They're re-engaging though with a better concave. In they come. Nice heals coming down from those Medevacs, but with a beautiful concave position. This is the best engagement Golden could have hoped for, but it isn't enough. This infantry pushing through, going to be able to get a bit more damage as it stands. Going to be still trying to get these engagements wherever at all possible. It's a closely fought battle, but HeroMarine just coming out on top of this. The Roaches getting taken down all the way through and chased away. This is a beautiful little bit of trading coming down from HeroMarine, and he is going to be able to fend off the majority of this aggression. So, where does HeroMarine go from here? The answer, his opponent's base. He's going to be going for the kill, taking out that third as quickly as possible. Is he going to be able to get it down though? Well, there's not too much in the way of defense. The Roach count only at 11, 16 Lings there, and a nice siege up position. Of course, the tank can't quite reach that hatchery from the safety of the edge of creep, but it could sneak forward. The important thing is all these Marauders. Golden has spread himself thin. He's counter-attacking with this, but there's a lot of units back at home for HeroMarine, fending off that counter-aggression. Great control coming through at the moment from HeroMarine. Again, slaughtering roaches. A lot of drones here for forfeit. The third hatch is also easy pickings, and that's why the drones are being prioritized. A lot of worker damage being done here. More units pushing through across the map for HeroMarine as he looks to be securing this second victory, taking the finals 2-0 most likely from this stage. He is up 100 supply basically to 60. He can back away here, but look at his army. He's moving in with some more units. Could even drop on top of these roaches directly. Just going for the engagement. The roach push wasn't able to push through as of yet. And losing that third is just such a massive loss for Golden. He's vigilantly fighting off this force though as best he can. Using these roaches, microing absolutely perfectly with what he's got. But another group of units is never ending. Terran train coming across the map. GG is called. And that means that a HeroMarine is going to take these finals 2-0.